like, share, and subscribe for more great Angry Guy content. And turn on notifications to never miss another Angry Guy video ever again. Now let's begin.
Think that and I assume millions of others of my generation, wanted some of the things that we did for our children and our wives and ourselves was explained by the fact that we were products of what is called the Depression. Sadly to say, many young people today don't even know what that term means. It means that everybody was poor. Statistically, almost everybody was poor for about 10 years. Started with the stock market crash and got worse after that. And when you are really poor for a long time, you're a very different human being than when you're middle class or rich. At one point, thank God only one point, I ran away from home. I was 16 at the time, and I bummed around the country for a few weeks. And I literally faced severe hunger. I had $7. They lasted exactly 7 days. After that, no money. And pretty quickly, that converts into no food.
So, today we're discussing the truth about the boomers, where their appearance essentially reveal why the boomers turned out to be the way that they are, and and how this has led to the downfall of society and possibly humanity. Watch the end of the video to fully understand the implications of the way that the baby boomers were raised and what that means for all of us going forward. And let's just preview alert. You can see that it's not really anything very good, but yeah, we're just going to have to deal with it. Uh, don't forget to follow us over on Rumble. Our Rumble will be linked in the description of the video so that you can go follow us over there and support us. Today's video actually comes from the David Hoffman channel. His channel will be linked in the description of the video so that you can go and check him out. He's actually really great. He's a great filmmaker. He's covered a lot of these videos over the years from different things that have happened throughout the over in the 1900s, or even now, maybe even a little bit of things happening now. I hope he's recording that. So his channel will be linked in the description of the video. And we'll go ahead and jump right into the video after a message from Angry's Crypto Academy. So check out Angry's Crypto Academy. Learn to protect your wealth with crypto, buy, sell, trade, and invest like a pro. Discover the next millionaire making coins. Link in the description. And now we'll go ahead and just jump right into the video, or back into the video.
If you knew where there was a soup kitchen, I guess you could go there, but I didn't know about that. I was on the road. I didn't know where I was, much less where other things were. I would beg very quickly. You turn into a beggar. You might think you would never do that, but you're wrong. All you have to do is get hungry enough and you beg your brains out. It's the conventional dialogue that you saw in movies. Hey, Mac, can you spare a dime? Or, if you got a quarter you're not using, I could use it. And by and large, you get ignored or you get contempt. The only people who ever treated me, well, not the only people, but almost the only people who ever treated me kindly were the Mexican Americans I ran into in the southwestern states. One guy, I remember, opened his own pockets, showed me they were empty, and he shrugged. I liked that. We had a nice moment together because he was saying, I'm no better off than you are. Another man said, wait, senor, and he went into a little hovel, really, and came out with a tortilla full of beans. I loved him for that. And there was a nice attitude when I asked a Mexican if he had anything that I could eat or money to buy it with or whatever. My fellow Anglos, by and large, treated me coldly and rudely. I ate garbage at one point. You will do that too, and you'll thank the universe for the garbage. Boy, what a thrill. Here, I found a can with some beans in it. I scooped out the ants and blew them away, and then I ate the 9 or 10 beans I found there. And boy,
And guys, I just want to remind you that for those of you that don't know, over 10 years ago, pushing almost 15 years ago, I experienced homelessness. I had essentially a nervous breakdown where I could no longer work in my corporate job. And one thing led to another, and I ended up homeless while working on my first graduate degree. I have multiple graduate degrees. And during that 8 months, I lived on the street. I ate garbage off the side of the road, and I was constantly at risk of being deleted. And I'm just going to make this very, very clear. America is a very cold country. The people are extremely cold. They talk about kindness, but America is a cold, cold, soulless, bloodless country. It is a country that does not like you. Just like Japanese, the Japanese are polite, but the Japanese are not kind. America is kind. We could say Americans are kind, but Americans are not polite. The thing is that the kindness is really masked because they're not truly kind. It's just kind of a cultural thing that's placed upon that's placed there. But America's a very cold place. People, you can basically starve in America. You can pass away from starving in America, and a lot of people don't want to hear it. The baby boomers are very much responsible for the state of the economy because they were very spoiled people. They were given it essentially everything. They took it all. And now when everything is going to hell, their response is, "Well, I got mine. It's too bad you didn't get yours." If you say, "Well, you destroyed life for every future generation," they'll go, "I'm doing well. My kids are doing well. It's on you. You need to take responsibility and stop buying so much damn avocado toast and learn how to budget your money better." Guys, these people are criminals, and yet now they're crying up a storm because they're ending because their 401ks are being wiped out, and the companies that have been ripping off America for so long are now beginning to feel the heat. Let me tell you guys something. If the iPhone goes to, because right now the China price is there's a 104% tariff that's been placed on China. That would basically mean, to my understanding, that the price of the iPhone, for example, if they're made in China, would basically double in cost. So you'd be looking at an iPhone that would essentially cost more than double what it is today at 104%, right? That's massive. Now, what I think is going to end up happening is that I think people are going to overall be okay because we're being charged ridiculous amounts anyway for every single thing around us. This is actually good for society. This is taking people off the whole doom spending thing. So people are going to realize, you know what? I don't need as much to survive. I don't need the brand new iPhone. I'm more than happy to hold on to my iPhone for another couple of years. I don't need to spend this amount of money for this. And another thing is people are going to look for deals. So instead of going and buying a Nintendo Switch and spending $80 for a game on the Nintendo Switch 2, which is going to be like $600 with these tariffs, evidently, right? Because they make most of their stuff in China, I mean, and some in Vietnam. I mean, then, really what you're looking at is a situation where people are like, well, why don't I just look at Steam? So they move over to Steam and they're like, they finally discover, wait a minute, the same game that that Nintendo wants $70 for, I can buy the same damn game, off a key shop, an official key shop at that, where they get the keys directly from the manufacturers, the makers of the game, and the developer, the publisher of the game, for like $3. This is a What? Are you kidding me? I can buy this for $3 in Nintendo and play it on Steam and have achievements and all this other stuff, or I can pay $600 for a Switch 2 so that I can play Mario Kart and games and like these overpriced games from third parties. Yeah, I'm going to go with Steam, or I'm going to go with GOG, and I'll get my games dirt cheap on GOG and all these amazing oldies that I missed over the years that now look better than games that are coming out in 2025. So I think this is going to help to pull the band-aid off and pull people away from all of this crazy spending. It'll also force companies to have to make their stuff in the United States, and it'll force companies to have to compete for our money because if people have less money, if everything costs more, then they're going to have to basically compete. They're going to have to say, well, we're going to get our money one way or another. No, you're not. You're going to have to compete for our money, and this is something that could permanently change American spending habits. If this goes on for like a year or even a couple of years, it could permanently change American spending habits, where a lot of Americans will say, yeah, I'm not spending that amount of money for something like this. It's not worth it. I'm good. I'm more than happy to go and buy something used, and I'm happy with this, or blah blah blah. Or a lot of people, like for example, in the case of like music, movies, video games, they'll basically, start sailing the seven seas. It'll be something out of One Piece, where a new pirate era will begin, which is I predict something could happen, and a lot of people will basically start sailing the seas and saying it's a pirate's life for me. And the days of Kaza and Napster, you know, those will make a comeback with a roar, but it'll be like on steroids this time. And a lot of this horrid reality is because of the boomers, the decisions that they've made and how they've wrecked our society and our economy for selfishness while gaslighting us. And if you ever speak to them, I have boomer parents, all you'll ever get out of them is the gas is what they call the boomer lead paint stare, where they just look at you and their mouth hangs open. And it's like, what the heck? You're like, what is wrong with you? And they just keep looking at you until you just give up on them and walk away. This is, guys, sociopaths. You're dealing with absolute sociopaths. And that's why I say, guys, right now the crypto markets are down. This is the best time to hop in and get crypto at dirt cheap prices. We have everything you need to know. We tell you which coins to invest in, everything. Guys, go and check out Angry's Crypto Academy so you can learn how to protect your wealth with crypto. You'll learn how to buy, sell, trade, and invest like a pro, and you'll discover the next millionaire making coins. You can find the Academy link description video. We actually have a massive sale happening this week where you can get everything 50% off. You get 50% off in the Academy right now. Massive sale happening over there. It's our spring starter sale. Go and check it out.
Find those beans. I was eating garbage and thrilled to do it. So that's very different from the life that we know. And since some of us had been through that, then we wanted to be sure that our children never went through that. So we tried to build up the little bank accounts and get a car for the wife and a car for us, and wash the cars ourselves with the hose with the kids. There are many sweet, beautiful aspects of that. The best scene of all really is family life. Why our society insists on making heroes, men or women, out of people who can't stay married and have had 19 women. God, is that a stupid reversion of values? Having one wife, staying married to her, that's what we're supposed to do. It works out better with the kids. But the American home began to fall apart, I think, seriously, partly because of effects of World War II in the 1950s. That's when the divorce explosion, as it's called, began. As to what I wanted for my kids, there was, on one side, the economic security, that they would have enough clothes, enough food, a roof over their heads, and that, be able to go to school and have a bike and all those simple things. Unfortunately, while I succeeded in that regard for them, I would not rate myself terribly high as a father. My sons are kind enough to say complimentary things about me as a father, but I was very far from satisfied with myself as I look back at my role in that particular drama. I have been arguing ever since that our culture and society is very good at training people. We train them to pull teeth, to repair automobiles, to paint fences, to do brain surgery. We give them no training, literally, in the two most important roles they'll ever be called upon to play: marriage partner and parent. And that you just thrown into the water, hope you can swim. Oh, I'm sorry, you're getting divorced. Well, your children are sick. And it's happening now in probably half the cases of marriage in this country. It's an ongoing tragedy. I can see now that anybody, and certainly myself included, since I'm a body, needed training. Just a book, anything, a magazine article, a priest talking to you on a park bench, something. We needed to be told how to be a father, for the men, and how to be a husband. Nobody ever explained anything to me. I hadn't seen any example in my own life. My father died when I was an infant, so there was no example. And I simply never learned it. So I was finally able to piece myself together and be a good father to my fourth son, but I don't think I was that great a father. I love my three sons, the first three, dearly, still do. We get along great. But I thought all you had to do was love them, occasionally mention that fact to them, give them a hug once in a while after they, at least up to the age of 7 or 8. And that was basically all there was to it. And boy, was I wrong. You have to spend much time with them. You probably have noticed that either in the 60s or 1,000 years from now or last night, the sons of public figures, sons and daughters of public figures, have a decided disadvantage, where those public figures are presidents or senators or movie actors or rock stars. And the reason is very simple. Daddy's on the road a lot. He's out campaigning for office. He's doing a concert in Nashville. And suddenly he looks over his shoulder and, oh, Junior's on dope. Well, maybe the fact that I didn't see him that much from 2 to 14 had something to do with that.
You see, guys, the baby boomers were essentially just given everything that they wanted. They were handed the keys to the kingdom, and they were indoctrinated using television. You have to remember, they were the first generation to be plopped in front of the TV, and that's why many of them now believe that CNN is still an authoritative source for news, or the authoritative source for news. The average person who actually watches television right now is over 60 years old. Young people, people under 60, people in Gen X, Gen Xers, Gen Xers, millennials, of course, the Zoomers, and none of these people are watching. None of these people are really watching television, like actual television, sitting down and turning on Fox or anything like that. All of the people that are watching, these television, like actual television shows live and stuff like that, you know, that's not on the internet. No, it's the boomers. They're an indoctrinated bunch, and all they've done is gone on to try to indoctrinate society, indoctrinate their kids. This is the legacy, guys, that these people will leave behind, a legacy of nothing really very good. I told you the truth about them. This is what they have done, and they are never going to stop. This is the reason why I keep on telling you to focus on your relationship with God and focus on investing, because guys, it's going to be an ass. It's you can already see it, guys. The markets are melting down. The boomers are panicking, and there's one thing we know about the boomers for sure, is that they're greedy. They want all the toys for themselves, and so far they've got them. So they're going to start rushing into crypto ETFs as soon as they launch, and they're going to try to buy as much crypto as they possibly can. And as a result of that, that's going to cause the crypto markets in general to skyrocket. And that's your opportunity to get wealthy.
You something. When the banks collapse, and trust me, it's coming, will you be ready? Imagine waking up to ATMs that don't work, bank doors chained shut, and millions of people left with nothing. No cash, no access to their savings, and no way to survive. But it doesn't have to be that way for you. That's why I created Angry's Crypto Academy, to teach you everything you need to know about crypto so you can protect yourself and your family. You'll learn how to buy, sell, and even day trade crypto for a living. Plus, we alert you to new crypto trends so you can profit before everyone else even knows what's happening. Right now, I've just published an exclusive investment guide inside the Academy, and it's linked in the description below. In it, I reveal the one coin that could make you a millionaire. A coin so revolutionary, it could change everything. If you missed out on Bitcoin and Ethereum, this is your second chance. This isn't just about financial freedom, it's about survival. When the system collapses and everyone else is selling, you'll be the one buying, prepared to weather the storm and thrive while others struggle to survive. Don't wait. This knowledge isn't optional, it's critical. The link's in the description. Go check it out now.
I mean, guys, the boomers, they did all of this. They did this, and they did it with a smile. They could care le- they could care less about anyone else but themselves, and they'll just gaslight you by telling you to work harder, pull yourselves up by your bootstraps, and stop wasting your money.
I'm exceptionally tired of this like super elder Gen X, like younger boomer take, like forgetting just how good they had it. Their income level compared to their cost of living was absurd. Okay, so story time. I lived in West Pennsylvania for just shy of a year. Okay, little town northwest of Pittsburgh. And I used to talk, these were some of the most, like, some of the sweetest people, but at the same time, some of the most decrepit and disconnected from reality human beings I have ever met. Just the most, just in that way that only a curmudgeonly elder Gen X or boomer can be. I was talking to this guy one day. This is like 2007. Okay, this dude's in his, at the time, mid 40s. And he's talking about how he wants to vote in the people that are going to bring back manufacturing jobs. Let's forget the fact that this is not happening. No one's bringing back manufacturing jobs. It's not happening. It's a dream. It's a fantasy land that they're still buying, right? They're still buying it today in 2024. They were absolutely still buying it through the 90s and the 2000s. This guy worked at a factory, and these are the numbers he told me. I happened to look these numbers up yesterday to make sure that they were true. Walking in off the street, a high school kid could get, what was it? Shy of $11 an hour, which is like in the low $30 an hour, today's money. He was a floor supervisor. I want to say he made like $16, $17 an hour. He was 22 at the time, in 1990, at a factory as a floor, like a sort of like, I guess the way that he said it worked is you're like, you get in and there's like an area supervisor, and then he made like a floor supervisor, and in this factory there were like 10 or 11 of them. Floor supervisors was something like $14 an hour, and he made like 16 or 17 bucks an hour. That's $48 an hour in today's money. Let's forget the fact that everything was cheaper then. So not only is this like 22-year-old with no high school education able to find a job where even at the entry level he's making like $30 an hour in change. At 22, this guy is making the modern equivalent of $48 an hour. Everything's half the cost comparatively. I'm not even talking about based on inflation. Everything they have to buy is half the cost. Like at the time, I want to say the numbers were like the average house was like twice his annual salary, maybe a little more than that. Today, it's like 10 times the average person, 11 times the average person's salary. And these are the same people telling you that you are not working hard enough, that they were able to do it on their entry-level job, so if you're not doing it, you're just fucking lazy. These people are so fundamentally disconnected from reality at large. They're like in a boomer conservative like virtual reality game where like because they've already gotten theirs, because their investments have already flourished, because they're already at the top of the food chain, like they don't even realize how much more money they earned and have access to. Like it's lost on them that they have like 2-3 times more money than the comparable 60-year-olds in their day. But somehow they think that there's just this unending potential access towards the same wealth that they had access to while being given everything on a fucking silver platter. And I'm so tired of this shit. It's beyond fucking exhausting. These people, in terms of when they were born and had access to the ability to earn, these dummies were born on third base and thought they hit a triple. And I'm at my wit's end.
That's a Gen Xer right there. That's the Gen Xer or a Zennial. And yeah, yeah. Guys, we can't do guys, everyone is at their wit's end right now with the boomers. No one can guys, the boomers, it's like what modern women have done in society where they've pushed men to the absolute brink and there's no healing this relationship. The boomers have pushed us to the absolute brink and there's no conversation. You cannot guys, you can't have a conversation with them. You'll just get the boomer lead paint stare. Like, do you know what it's like to have a conversation with a boomer? Horrible.
Up to $800 a month for no work or work whatever you want to do. You can rent a room from someone. All you need to do is just do your video games all day, rent a room somewhere. That's all you have to do. So I'm going to get some advice. Whatever your decisions are, those are your decisions, not mine. There's nothing I can do. And if you base that on to retaliate against me, nobody can have everything they want. Nobody.
So why do you?
You have to live alone. You have to have certain rules and regulations in your life.
So why do you think you can treat me however you want?
I am not treating you. I'm treating you very well. And I'm fed up with you pushing your mom around. That's what you're doing.
You keep playing the victim.
So you need to go to someone else. I'm no longer willing to give you free housing. I am no longer willing. So you need to reevaluate what right is and what wrong is because you have no clue.
It's not about right and wrong. It's about the respect that you
right
don't give
wrong.
people.
Yeah, that's right. You lay in bed all day. You're up all night and you sleep all day. Go tell this to somebody, okay?
That doesn't affect you.
Yes, it does, Skylar, because you're in my home. Because you're my son, and I raised you, and you're in my home. And now you're 20. When
Okay,
I say
and?
it's time to get your ass out and to be more productive,
And go where?
that's what you do. And if you don't do it, then you will be kicked out.
And go where?
That's your problem.
So you're
You
admitting
figure
that
it
you
out.
don't care if I die on the street just to get rid of me.
I told you what it takes. Either go to school, be a student, or get another job. That's what it takes.
We've been
and
over
if you're
this.
not willing to do that, they all end up on the street. And you know
It
what-
just shows your lack of empathy.
you know what's going you know what's
Go to school or find a job. Now, don't get me wrong. I don't like the Z. I'm not a fan of Gen Z. But this is go to school, take on massive amounts of debt, not, and then you're not able to find a job, or go find a job when almost no one can find a job, and work for pennies, work for peanuts. Guys, these people are the most cold people in the face of the planet. They don't care. They've never cared about any of us. They don't like us. They don't like their kids, or the most you'll get out of them is, well, I got mine, my kids got theirs. You're a loser because you didn't get yours. That has always been the boomer mentality. I got mine, maybe my kids got theirs. All right. You, on the other hand, you're a loser, because you did not get yours. They stole our futures while we were still in diapers, and then they mock us when we struggle to survive, as they dangle our money in front of us. That's who these people are.
Actually have an incredible sale happening right now over at Angry's Crypto Academy. Everything is 50% off. So definitely go and check it out before the sale ends. The Academy is linked in the description of this video.
I don't know, guys. The boomers, it's like can't stop, won't stop being a jerk. It's endless with these people. Absolutely endless stupidity, absolutely endless nonsense, absolutely endless evil with these people. And let me make it very clear. They are evil.
Like to make their kids feel guilty. They like to go, you could never afford it. They like to tell you how cheap the house was when they bought it. And then this is every Thanksgiving or Christmas, somebody will go, pick this up for 200 grand. Now it's worth 1.8. And then it's their millennial kids are sitting there saddled with student loan debt. And the boomers it's their last fuck you before they leave the planet.
Yeah.
They're a spiteful generation of monsters. I respect it. But their last fuck you before they leave the planet is, instead of selling their houses for, I don't know, a $900,000 profit, they just won't put them on the market. Some boomers, which is hilarious, that we read the articles on my show, they're actually retiring to bigger houses. They're sizing up. It's sick. It's like insane. And so that becomes an issue too of like, you know, it used to be like you would have a house, the kids would move, you'd stay in it probably for another 10 or 20 years, and then you'd get a condo. And you'd go, I'm out.
Yeah.
Fuck do I want to mow lawn for?
Yeah.
Now the boomers are going, this is the only thing we have that makes us truly valuable in society, is that we own this like a McMansion. And we're not giving this up. We are tax-paying citizens, and we are not giving this up. And our kids are going to come here every year, and they're going to suffer through the size of our house with 9 empty bedrooms while they live in a 2-bedroom apartment, and we're gonna chastise them for their decisions and their choices.
And the McMansion defines you, and your car that you drive up to the
That's
McMansion
right.
in, all that defines you.
And
Where are you vacationing?
That's right.
Where are you going?
That's right. And they're gonna go, because they all bought those houses for very little money, and they are going to hold them over everybody's houses until they are found dead in them.
Guys, it's already happening. It is already happening where there are some boomers. I forget, like an actor, a famous actor, and his wife. I believe they were both boomers. They were both found no longer with us in their homes. The dog had also passed away, people thought, and initially we thought that it was, they thought it may have been foul play. No, it turns out that the wife passed away first. Like something happened with her. I don't know if it was something related. She passed away first, and then the husband, he had dementia, so he didn't realize she had passed away, evidently, because that does happen with people who have these conditions. And then after, and then he basically, so he then passed away. He basically passed away because he could not take care of himself. He wouldn't call. He didn't know how to pick up the phone and call 911 or anything like that. And then the dog that didn't have anyone to feed it. There were multiple dogs, but evidently one was locked inside the house, or locked in a room, while the others were not. So two were able to survive, evidently, but one was like trapped. So that one passed away. And this is the baby boomers. This is like an example of the boomers where they're going to keep on going until they pass away in these homes. They're also joining this thing called the uh, die with nothing or die with zero movement, where the goal is to pass away with $0 in your checking account and pass nothing on to your kids. It's so bad right now. It's the situation with boomers, with the boomers, is so bad right now that many of them literally would rather leave their they would rather leave their wealth they would rather leave their wealth to charity than to leave it to their kids. And it's shocking, but I guess it should not completely shock anyone. So here it is on the screen, and this is an article. I'm not going to read the entire article, but this is the title for the article. I'm 57 and my ex-husband left me $1.2 million in an IRA. I want to give it to charity, but my current husband, 60, insists I leave it all to him. How can I balance charity and his peace of mind? So she's a borderline boomer. She's one, and this is what they were talking about, like, like the younger boomers, or the what do you call them, or the old Gen Xers. And this is the attitude. Basically, they don't want to pass anything on to their kids. She doesn't even talk about children. She doesn't want to pass it on to her children. She doesn't want to leave it to family. She would rather give all of that money away to charity than to help her children, to help her grandchildren, to help her, think about this, to help her nieces or nephews have a start in life, to help her, guys. This is the boomer mentality. And then you wonder why so many millennials, so many Gen Xers, I mean, yeah, the Zoomers are so pissed off with this generation of people. These are people who do not like us, and they want to get, this is their final fu before they go off to hell. To make sure that we are left in a state of poverty and destitution, and that we wish we weren't. We wish we could join them. We wish we could go before them. These are really, really bad, evil people, man. Guys, that's the truth about the boomers. But it's going to catch up to them. And like, as you can see, guys, nothing lasts forever. And half of boomers are ending up homeless faster than any other group of people, because they have horrible money management skills. They've lived very easy lives, and now they don't know how to survive going into their 70s. A lot of them 60s and 70s. Some of them are pushing 80 right now. The oldest of the boomers are like 78. Guys, let me know what you guys think. If you agree that many boomers are going to find themselves in extraordinary states of poverty and destitution over the next 10 years, and a lot of society, their children, family members of society, will not feel sorry for them, and hopefully won't bail them out. Let me know your thoughts. We'll talk about it in the comments. Like the video if you like it. Don't forget to subscribe. And if you like the video, share the video. And just remember that all roads lead to MWA and walking away. And cheers.
Nothing says you care like crypto. Nothing can compare. Nothing says you care like crypto. Oh, nothing can compare to crypto.